Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. I am playing today with the newest release from the Junk Journal Studio. If you've been watching, you would have seen me working with the Botanical Collage and Cluster Mega Pack, and I've been working with the green and neutral kit, the add-on yellow kit, the add-on red kit, and now we have the blue add-on kit. Just magical. Like, all these papers coordinate beautifully together, or you can choose to have them in one of the colorways, so the blue, the red, the yellow, or the original green / neutral. But honestly, oh my gosh, they just go together. All four kits go together so beautifully. But time to play with the new one. So I have an idea in mind. I have not trialed it. So we're just going to see how it goes. I don't see why it wouldn't work, but we'll just have to, work out a few details as we go along. So I've grabbed out this, let me show it to you first. This is one of the pages from the blue add-on kit. It's got these beautiful panels, as all kits do, have these beautiful triple panels. And I want to separate it into 3, hopefully equal parts, give or take. And I've chosen a page that basically is directionless. So it doesn't matter if it goes upside down or sideways, it's still going to look good. So I've deliberately chosen out one that can do that, because some are definitely directional, more so than others. So that's one of my considerations to begin with. Choosing a page, whatever you work with, whatever paper you work with, choosing something that won't matter if it ends up upside down or round the wrong way. Okay, so I'm thinking hopefully I'll be able to go in the 3 sections, but I just want to do a quick little measure. I mean, it's not going to matter terribly if they're not exactly the same, but I want them to be fairly close. So we've got 10 1/4 inches. How do we break that into thirds nicely? Is it easier to work in centimetres? 27.2? Probably not, but maybe if we go about 9 centimetres, that would make it about 3.5 inches. Look, I'm gonna eyeball it. We're just gonna make it up as we go along. So let's do 3.5. What would that make it? 3.5, 7, 10.5. We haven't got enough for 10.5, have we? Because we're at like 10 1/4. Okay, let's go. I know. No, I'm just gonna go halfway between 3 1/4 and 3.5. Yes, I am. That's what I'm doing. I might chop off this side one here. So 3 1/4 and 3.5, halfway between. Got a handy dandy mark on my guillotine that shows me that. Now this one will be a little wider, so I'm just going to make it the same, chop a bit off. Maybe I might do a bit off each side. You can just do it off one side, but I think I like the balanced look of it a little bit more if I take it off both sides. Okay, it's not quite balanced, but it's okay. Now I need to take off. I'll get rid of that smaller strip, but this strip could be quite fun in like clusters or something, or even just as like a faux washi strip. So I'll keep that one. Now I need to cut off the white from the top and bottom. So let's do that before I put the guillotine away. So I hope you're all having a great week, my friends. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Roxy's weekly challenge this week or not. At the moment I'm thinking not, but if there's a hue and cry, you know, if you're like, why aren't you doing it, then I'll do it. I'm just not feeling it this week, and it's a beautiful project. I'm just not sure that I'm really feeling it, for whatever reason. So we're going to make little like coin envelopes or pockets or whatever you call them. I made some recently, faux seed packets I made recently. They're kind of all the same thing, same principle, but I do want to have them, as I was saying, about the same height. So I might measure on my mat here. Oops, let's line up the paper straight. So if I line up the top on, we're going to be a little bit smart here, a little bit saving myself overthinking this. I'm going to grab a bit of washi tape and pop it on my mat where I want to line it up with. And then I'm going to put another strip at the bottom where I want to fold it up to. So let's go about there. And that way I don't have to keep measuring or overthinking everything. If I line it up straight on the lines against the washi tape and fold it on that line where the washi tape is at the bottom, we should end up with something that's three things that are fairly equal in size. So how's that for smart thinking? My brain must be having a rare moment. So I do have some updates for you, which I'll relay over the course of the video, both about myself and about my mother-in-law. But I just want to get through this sort of more thinking part first, because, you know, thinking and talking at the same time doesn't always go so well. Okay, so they should be pretty much the same size. Do I want to put gussets on? I think I want to put gussets on. Oops. It's making things fall over. But I don't think I'll be able to fold them straight because I just want very narrow gussets. So I'm going to use my scoreboard to do it, and go 1/8 of an inch, so just very narrow ones, and it will be sufficient. Flick this around and do the other side, because I don't want to lose too much real estate inside the little bags, pockets, packets, whatever you want to call them. So this first bit we've pretty much done already last week in a video, but we're just kind of taking it a step further this week. So stick with me and we'll get to a fun little twist on this project. They're not going to be faux seed packets though, they're just going to be like decorative little holding places for ephemera in basic form, and then we're going to do something even more fun with them. Okay, last one. So 1/8 of an inch. You can make yours wider and give them a wider gusset. You know, just make them to whatever size you want. I'm just working with the papers and the width of those patterns. Okay, so all scored. I'm not sure if I need these bits of tape yet again or not, so I'm just going to leave them there for now, unless they begin to annoy me. So just making sure I fold on the same edge, because when you use this is not very thin, so it leaves a groove with two edges. So I'm making sure I fold along the score line on the same edge, because otherwise it's still going to go crooked. It's very, very hard with narrow bits of paper. It tends to warp quite easily and go off track, even if you've scored it. But if I tried to do it without scoring, I know it would be even worse. I'd have no show of getting it straight. I'd look at it and it would warp. So firstly, a little update on my shoulder. So I went to the physio yesterday and got the results of my ultrasound and x-rays. So fortunately it's not too bad. I mean, it's bad enough, it's painful and all that, and it is going to take time to heal. But there is a tear at the back of the shoulder in the rotator cuff, but it's not a big one, it's quite minor. So that was good news, because I don't want further surgery, and if it was a big tear then it would need surgery. So that was good news. I have an inflamed bursa, which is the bone on the end of your shoulder, that kind of the little lumpy bit that sticks out, that's the bursa. So that's inflamed, and the tendon in front of, sort of in front and over the bursa is inflamed as well. So because both are inflamed, there's very little room, and they're rubbing against each other and making the inflammation worse. So all it means really is that I've got to just be careful with it. Don't do anything I shouldn't do, like lifting heavy things. Physio treatment, exercises to strengthen all the tissue, and see how it goes. And then if it's not settling down within however long, she didn't actually say how long, but if it's not showing terribly much improvement in whatever time frame she thinks is acceptable, then it might require a cortisone injection, which I don't really like the sound of, but we'll face that one if we need to. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's good news, but it's also like it's just going to take time, and that's going to be a nuisance because I'm busy and having pain. I've also got it taped up. She taped it up yesterday, and it just feels like my bra stripping. What on earth am I saying? My bra strap is slipping constantly. It's not, it's just the feeling of the tape on my shoulder, but it's annoying because I keep wanting to, you know, give it a little hoist, but it's nothing wrong with it. So I do find that little annoying, but that's okay. Hopefully the strapping will just help give it that support it needs while it does some healing. Right, so let's get rid of the top and bottom, the top of these gussets. So we only want the bottom intact. Oh, hello Kelly, did you want to go out? Did you run into some opposition? Mummy's a bit busy right now. Kelly came in this morning, she's been up in the cat bed, and I think she went to go out and ran into somebody like a Snuggles, because she came bounding back inside. I think she wants out. I might have to pause the video and go let her out, because otherwise she might get a bit stressed, but I'll just give her a few minutes and see whether she might settle back down again or not. It's a beautiful day outside. It's sunny. There was another frost, not quite as heavy as the previous couple of days, but still really chilly. But that sun is beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. So we've trimmed off the bottom, the top, the longer end flaps, and I'm just going to miter these little gussets here at the top, so they don't show over the end if I glue anything crookedly or what have you. Right, so I'm going to glue this together now. Just a bit of glue down the gussets. and then fold this bit up. Easy peasy. Oops, I've got a little edge showing there, so we'll just, like I said, in case I glued something crookedly or cut crookedly. Okay, and then this is going to fold down, so this might be where I use my tape again. So line it back up, and I'm going to go, hello Kelly, I think fold it on that line, which is just going to give me a little bit of a space at the top. Okay, so there's one little packet. Okay, I'm going to pop the camera on pause. I'll deal with Kelly. I'll also make up these two, so you're not seeing the process, because there is a video from last week on me making these, and then we'll get to kind of the springboard stage of where we take these. Something new. I'll be right back. Okay, I've made them all up, and when I made these last week, I folded them loosely in half and then trimmed around to curve the corners. This time I've stacked them together because I want them all to basically be the same shape, and I'm just going to round them with my punch board. So it's just a very gentle curve, but they're all going to be pretty much identical, apart from it didn't actually punch that one very well. So just give it a wee tidy up, and that's good enough. There we go. So I think I told you all I needed to about my shoulder. It's just a process and a pain, literally. You know, I've just got to bide my time, and that's okay. As I said, I'm really pleased that I don't need surgery, because that just, you know, I've had 2 surgeries in 2 years, or pretty much, maybe a little longer than that, between the 2 surgeries, but I don't really want another one, apart from the one to remove the hardware from my ankle, which I wish they'd get onto sooner rather than later. But however, the system is pressured, so they'll get to me when they get to me. Yeah, so I was definitely happy that there's no surgery required. Right, I didn't ink in there, but I think I'll leave it for now. Okay, I'm excited to try out the next phase of this project, because that's where we're heading into new territory. Actually, I don't think I did under that flap there, did I? Had the flap folded down and the edge of the flap. So while I'm doing this, I might as well tell you about my mother-in-law. Most of you will know by now that she's got cancer and been going through treatment. And so she had her last round of chemotherapy at the end of July. And we were a bit worried, well, I was worried that her blood count would dip, because it dipped after her second to last chemotherapy session. So this last one, we were like, oh, you know, is it going to do that again? Because it was not good. She ended up in hospital for a month to recover from that before she had her last round of chemo. So all was going well. So that was the end of July. We're what, a week and a bit, or a week into August, and it seemed to be going well. And then last night we got hubby got a phone call from his dad, and his mum is back in hospital, not with the same issue. The issue she's having now is that she hasn't been able to keep any food down for the last 36 hours, and that's as of last night. So, you know, it's even longer now. So she's in hospital. This morning they've done x-rays and a CT scan, and had her on fluids overnight because she's very malnourished. She continues to lose weight, and she's a very small lady to begin with, as my mother-in-law. She can't afford to lose weight, and she just keeps losing weight because she can't get enough into her body, enough food into her body, enough nutrition. and then they're going to do a gastroscopy sometime today. So she's got cancer of the esophagus, so it's affected her eating since before it was diagnosed. She was having issues eating, so that's why she went to the doctor, and it took them a while to work out what was going on, and found it was the old C, the big C, unfortunately. So yeah, so we're kind of just waiting to see where we go from here, like how to get her back on track, what's stopping the food from staying down, and some sort of plan to boost her. So that's where she's at now. Things were going well, and then they didn't. It's a horrible thing, isn't it? A horrible thing. Until you've got someone in your immediate family that has cancer, you don't realise how it dominates your thoughts and your emotions and everything. Right, so we have our bases ready. Let's get into some fun things to do with this. Now, first off, I want to put a little bit of writing paper on the back here. So it's not going to be a huge amount, and I did grab out some of my eco-dyed paper. One of the originals. Oh, do I want to use that one? I find it very hard to use because they're so pretty. So pretty. Maybe we'll use this one. This one's a little more abstract. This one has the lovely leaf print. And that's why it's still in my stash, because it's so hard to use. So we want to go... So maybe if I do it this way, so 2 3/4 inches by 3 inches, maybe should be about right. So trying to remember that. So we'll go 3. I'll probably need at least 2 strips of that, so we'll might as well cut the second one. So 2 3/4, wasn't it? Yes, I do believe so. Let's just double check. Yep, perfect. Oh, I might have only needed 1 strip actually. We'll find out in a moment. Is that one going to be... Oh, it's only like 1/8 of an inch, if that, difference, so I'm just going to go with that. We only needed 1 strip. Right, so let's glue these on. So I am covering the majority of the backs with the writing paper, but just leaving a bit of a smidge of border around them, so we still get pops of that pretty pattern showing. And I'm leaving an even border at the bottom and the 2 sides, and not so worried that it's got a bigger border at the top there, because the flap's going to come down over that. Okay. Just looking at which side I want to glue down, because I glued a pretty side down on that other piece. There was a patch of pinky red on it, and I ended up gluing it on that side, which I would have preferred not to, but even never mind. That's what you get when you don't think about what you're doing. Too busy talking. Okay, and this one, see, it's got an outline of a leaf, but oh, maybe we'll put the leaf side up. I was going to glue it leaf side down, but because I thought I liked this side better, but now I can't decide. So we're just doing it. Sometimes I think it's almost better if you close your eyes and choose a side. It's like, because at the end of the day, it doesn't super matter. You know, just to avoid the overthinking that we can tend to do, is just like sometimes close your eyes and pick would be a much quicker and easier way to go. Okay, so a little bit curly with that glue stick on, that's fine. So that's the backs of these pieces. We will decorate, I don't know if we'll do it on camera, it depends how we go time-wise, but the front will have, you know, something pretty on it. And these are going to be mounted onto a page. So pretend that it's this page. We might actually put it on this page. And they're kind of going to be staggered. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oh my goodness, my apologies. Oh, that came out of nowhere. Right. So in some form these are going to be staggered. I'm not entirely sure yet how I want them to be. Maybe like that. So I'm going to have to think carefully about how I do this. So the idea is that they'll flip out and you can journal on the back of them, plus you'll have something tucked in the pocket. And so you flip one out and then you can flip the next one out and write on the back, tuck something in the pocket, and then that's how I envisage. So I'm not sure whether to go like in order, like so. Now you could also use the flaps to be the flip, like that. That would work really well. It means you'd slide something in upside down, but that's okay. But I've got a different idea for these. And what I'm going to use is the wonderful freebie that goes along with the Botanical Collage and Cluster kits. I think there's 16. Don't quote me on that. I can't quite remember. There's quite a lot of freebies that go with this kit, all on the Junk Journal Studios Kofi page. Kofi. And this is the latest release of the freebies. So there's 5 pages. So I'll give you a wee look. Here's this one. This one in blue. Isn't it pretty in blue? I mean, they're both beautiful, but the blue just kind of like got a freshness to it. Then this one with some lovely scripty bits on the grid. And this one, look at this. Isn't this cool? I just think this is awesome with these hinges here. We're going to be using these hinges. Now you could use anything. These wonderful numbers here, you could use those. You could punch out some whale tail tabs and use those. You could just cut a strip of paper and use that. But I've got hinges here. I want to use these hinges because I just think they are so cool. I'm thinking now maybe I should have printed it out twice. But I didn't. And I also have not pre-cut them out. So I need 3. Which colours do I want? I think I want the blue. And I want the green. And then I need to choose one other colour. So we could go green, blue. Do I want the yellow or the brown? I think I want the brown. Okay, let's grab out the scissors. I might just pop you on pause again. Sorry for all the pausing, but it's just, rather than me rush, I will cut these out and be right back. And I am back once again with a croaky voice, it seems. So I did end up printing off another one because I realised that I needed 2 of each of the hinges. So I've now got cut out 2 of the 3 colours that I was wanting. And I'm going to hinge them onto the edge of the page. So I am going to just use this as my journal page. It's like, it's as good as anything. Why not? Bit of coffee dyed diary page. What I am hoping is that the single hinge is enough to hold it. So I'm going to use one and then I'll let you know whether one is sufficient or whether you need to use two. So treat me as the guinea pig. That's okay, I don't mind. So I'm just going to fold this in half and think about whether I want them on the front or whether I want them on the inside. Should we do them on the inside? Just because. So I'm going to use tacky glue because it's my preference more than anything. It's just my preference. Sorry, I might be getting a bit close to the frame with the project. I'll just lift it up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to center it, I think. And glue the other side of it. So overhanging the crease of the hinge just a little bit so that it's got room to fold without catching. So there's just a gap slightly in between the pocket and the page. Okay, we're adding a second hinge on this side. So I think by the time it's doubled up and the glue's dried, I think it actually will be fine. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So let's glue the other side on. So you're going to have one side of your journal page that's just going to have decorative hinge on it, which I think is going to be just a little bit of fun. Oops, it folds that way. So fold it up and then glue on this one. Or do I want to glue it flat? Undecided which way is best. Maybe I'll glue it flat. I'm not sure whether it will pull this way or not. We shall find out. So give that a moment to kind of dry. I already think that just looks really cool to me. So you're not taking up a huge amount of writing space. We are taking up a little, but then we're going to have something in the pocket with extra writing space. And while I'm waiting for that glue to dry, let's just ink around the inside of this flap a little bit. Cat flap went. I was just having a wee peep to see who it was. I think it was just Puss going out because it's such a beautiful day outside. I think it's actually warmer outside than in with the sunshine. Right, now let's fold that up. Perhaps might need to give it a little bit more room to fold. So that's what we get on that side. Yeah, I think I need to bring it out, give it a little bit more space there. And then that folds out and that flips open and we have something fun in there. I mean, I just think that's really rather fun, a really cool interactive thing to do. Now, if you're using two hinges, you would need to think about placement because you don't want the hinges to impinge other pockets from flipping out. So I think the single hinge is the way to go. Just want to make sure I kind of space these evenly, approximately evenly. Maybe about there. So maybe I'll do the outside hinge first this time. So I'm just going to give it a bit more space to move on that outside edge, which means it will also, the inside hinge will hang over a bit more. I think it will just be a bit more comfortable for the working mechanism. of the flips. Right, which side do I want? I'm just looking at the direction. The hinges have a direction, so I'm just making sure I put it on the same way. I didn't do that on the first one, the inside and the outside, but I don't think that's as critical. I can match the inside hinges the same way and match the outside hinges to each other. The outside and the inside don't have to be the same direction. Okay, flipping that over, just oops, that's not quite straight. Just need to straighten it up a little bit. And in a little bit. Not sure that I've got it straight. Oh yeah, that's okay. Okay, let's just glue it on. So different method for gluing this one, and that's by design because I'm not sure which way is actually best. So I'm giving it a little trial and seeing which way I think is going to work better. So quite a gap there, as you can see. And so on the inside I put the hinge up the other way, so that's okay. I'll just match the inside hinge to the one we've already got on the inside. So then if you see them all together, they won't look out of place. And you won't see the outside and the inside together, so it won't matter that they're a different way around. Oops, that wasn't ideal. Aren't those hinges just fantastic? Love them. I think they're so cool. Right, and our third one is going to go up right up the top. So I haven't ended up spacing them evenly. I think the hinge is in a slightly different place. That's okay. It's going to be good enough. Right, so the hinge needs to go that way down on the outside. I think doing the outside first is better. I think it's easier to get the spacing, and doing with it closed gives a nice gap. It kind of is the right gap, it would seem, but play around with it yourself and do it whichever way you find the easiest or the best. And let's go, making sure that your hinge is clear of your underneath one, because if it's over top, it's going to impinge on how it operates. There we go. It's that one. And then our inside hinge goes that way round. So we're adding a lot of writing space in doing this because we're not taking much away from our actual journal page. Most of it is still very available for writing on, but also great to put on a page where you can't write on it if you just want to see the beautiful pattern, but want some writing space on it. Then this would be a great thing to do as well on those types of pages. So we've got this fun stack of little flip out pockets, like little doors almost, with the hinges. Now what I might do with the little holes here from the hinges, you could punch them out, use your crocodile or something and punch them out. I think I'll use some, what are they called? Liquid drops. So they're like liquid pearls, that type of thing, but these are just a cheap version. I think what I'll do is I'll use some of these in the holes to give like little rivet kind of look. But I will probably do that off camera. One, because these clog on me and then they'll go and you'll get a whole heap and I have to clean up and blah blah blah. But also they need time to dry, so I'll only be able to do one side and then need to let it dry and then do the other side. So the photo on the thumbnail and things like that, they won't have these liquid drops in either, because they won't have time to dry for the photos. Okay, so let's do a little bit of decorating. Yeah, we've got some time, but that's my plan for those. Right, let's grab out some of the ephemera pages. I have not printed off the whole kit yet. I've just kind of looked at the thumbnails on my computer and grabbed a bunch of pages that I thought will give plenty to work with for this wee project. That's quite cute. Official Weather Observer's Record. That could be fun. And so I do apologise that none of this is actually pre-cut out. I literally printed it out 10 minutes before starting the video, because I knew the project I wanted to do. This project has been in my mind for a few nights. I keep thinking about it while I should be sleeping. So I pretty much knew how I was going to do it. I just needed to kind of choose the pages, the papers that would go with it. So I don't know if we'll get all three decorated, but we'll give it a go. I don't have to panic. We do have a little bit of time. Bottom or the top? I like that at the top, and then some sort of shaped. Did I print off? Well, I do have these on the same sheet as the hinges, these circles. I'm not sure if I want all blue though. How about we go for a bronzy browny colour? Don't think that will fit in my punch. I don't think I've got a punch this size, so I'll just fussy cut it. Moving the paper rather than my scissors and spinning it around, and then get to a certain point and then you've got to kind of move your scissors back a bit because you've run out of length. And you'll get a fairly even cut that way in a circle. I feel like it needs a little book page, because most things are improved with a little bit of book page. Not that these need improving because they're pretty. It's a little bit of Alice in Wonderland there. Yep, let's do that. I think that looks quite cool. So just doing a bit of collaging, basically, layering up with all these fantastic elements that in the kit. Yep. Actually, I might tacky glue that one on. Don't ask me why I'm choosing tacky glue. Well, actually, it's probably because my glue page is getting sticky and I can't be bothered tearing it off and getting a new one out, so just too lazy today. I have been through a number of glue pages lately, so yeah, it's just like, oh, they don't last long enough for me. They just, you have to change them out so quickly. Right, pop that there. So I decorated the middle one. I don't know why, it's just the way it went. Okay, now something for this bottom one maybe. This little piece here. I don't want to go all colour. Now I want to mix up the colours a little bit. And you certainly can with these kits. Not just because there's now 4 versions of it in beautiful different colorways, and it's not all exactly the same pieces in it. Like, it varies not just in color, but varies in the imagery and things like that. So well worth investing in all of them if you can, but if you can't, then just pick your favorite color or the one that you would use the most, and just get that, and you'll have a great resource. Right, maybe another bit of book page. Oops, it's a bit long. Okay. And I am using glue stick for the book page. I don't know, it's random sometimes, I think, what I choose, what glue I choose, just what seems best moment to moment. I'll put that one down the bottom. And then I think another round element, or we could use a wee ticket as well. Wee ticket's got a different shape to it with its little half circle punch outs or cutouts. I don't think I printed off any like birds or anything with this kit. I don't know if it has birds. I suspect it does. There are some little florals here. That could be quite pretty actually. Let's go with a wee floral. I don't know whether this is supposed to be a page in one, but it doesn't matter because you can treat it however you like. And I think cutting out individual pieces out of this would be rather fun and very doable. I'm just looking at the best way to kind of cut into this. I think it is supposed to be a whole page, but it's nothing to say that you have to use it as a single page. Just want to get to these flowers. And you can print one out and use it as a whole page, and print out another one and use it individual pieces. Super fun. And it has I would describe it as a taupe kind of background, so it's not on white. So you don't even have to do a really close and fussy cut. Maybe this pink flower, I'm just going to do a loose kind of wavy cut. Not even a kiss cut, it's just kind of a zoomy zoom. Zoomy zoom like that, and I ended up with a little harsh sort of point there. So just trying to reduce that point. Don't know if I succeeded. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Not going to distress around it. I think it's fine. And that's that one. Just very simple. 3 elements and we're done. Okay, now the top one. Of course we have to use book page, don't we? You know, we've got a thing going. Pop that on there. It's also a really quick formula. If you struggle with decorating in a collage style, then just stick with the same number of elements, and 3 is good, and then play around with that. So you might have 3 label-y pieces, you know, not 3 label pieces. So you might have a label piece, a round piece, or a fussy cut, or a label, a fussy cut, and a word, or a label, a fussy cut and a stamp, or a stamp, a fussy cut and a word. You know, just mix and match 3 different elements and arrange them in what looks good to your eye. And don't worry about whether anybody else will like that, because you do you, and people will like what that you is. Really, honestly, they will. We all have different styles, different aesthetics, but if you do you, then it's got your heart in it, and people respond to that heart. They're not responding to, oh, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. No, they're responding to love and your individuality that you put into your pieces. I think these tickets are quite cool, these larger ones. It's a bit of a cat highway today. Must be because of that sunshine. They're going out and coming in and going out. Apart from Snuggles, she is actually currently curled up on our bed. And she must be quite toasty because she moved out of the sunlight onto the shady side of the bed. So, what it is to be a cat, eh? When you've got a fur coat to keep you warm. That can go there. And then we need one more element. Maybe I was thinking another one of those fun seals, but not sure I want to go with the same. Come on, glue, come out of there. There we go. So I'm going out to have coffee with a friend this afternoon. So I'm saving one of my morning coffees so I can have coffee out. Right. We could use another flower. Don't want to use another flower. We could use this yellow one. It's pretty. Let's do the yellow flower. So we're going to just do a zoom cut again. Wavy in and out. Doesn't matter if it's uneven because it's just a random wavy. It's going there. Now, once you've got your 3 pieces down, you can go and add additional pieces. Like you think, oh, that needs something there. You could add a word or do a bit of stamping even. You know, but starting with 3 pieces is what I'd recommend, because 3 always looks good to the eye. And if you need a formula, if you need that little bit of help with collaging, you know, focal point collaging is what I'm talking about here, not like masterboard collaging, then that's what I'd recommend. So on the back here, we could add a word on our flaps. I need to ink the other 2 flaps. I haven't done that yet. How are we going on time? We are almost done. Do I want to just put a little word on those flaps? Let me have a wee look what we might have. I'm not sure that these are going to be the right colours. Purple is not really the right colour. We could do blue. Could do, don't think pink's the right one either. Could do green. We don't have brown. Brown would have been good. We've got a different blue. Don't need to have them same colour. How about that? I think that looks good. Put these away in their little baggie. Actually, I probably need to take them out of the bag now, but never mind, they're back in there for now. And I think I just want to give these a wee edge with some Distress ink. Don't ask me why. I just feel it. Feel it in my bones. Or maybe that's just the cold. I'm getting hungry too. It's getting close to lunchtime. What's for lunch today? Leftover dinner from last night. So I've got a chicken drumstick and some veg. So that should be yummy. I do enjoy not having to really think about lunch because we always cook enough or try to cook enough from our evening meal to have it for lunch the next day. Just makes hubby's work lunches and my lunches so much easier. You don't have to think about it when it comes to lunchtime. It's just like chuck it in the microwave if it needs heating, or don't if it's like a salad or something, and eat. Boom, done. Minimum of time, minimum effort. Healthy food, you know, not grabbing something quick and unhealthy, and done and on with the day. Because sometimes I find eating gets in the way. It's like I haven't got time. I just want to, you know, keep working, keep doing whatever. And I'm just centering these roughly, eyeballing. Ink this one before I glue it. So these are just my wee stamped words that I've done in labels. That's what these are. So it says beautiful dream and moments. And all I need to do now is make little journal cards to go in each pocket. Which we don't have time for in this video. And that single hinge is holding them quite nicely. I don't think it needs a second hinge. So 3 little flip out writing space pockets with what eventually will have journal cards in them. I think that's so fun. And then I need to do the wee holes with the liquid drops. I think that is so fun. And then on this side we've just got 3 hinges, and again we'll have the liquid drops in those. So just decoration down the side. Cool. I think that's pretty cool. You could perhaps attach them a different way if you don't want to wrap the hinges around. I'm now thinking, what could we do to utilize those hinges in a even more interactive way on this side? Having something else flip? I don't know. Possibilities are endless, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me today for this design team project for the Junk Journal Studio using this new blue add-on kit for the Collage and Cluster Mega Packs. Well worth the purchase if you feel inclined. I will catch you again tomorrow with another video. We'll both find out what it is when it appears. Take care, my friends. I'll see you then. Bye.